are visiting the area a week after the incident. The CEO whom Elon Musk hired to run X 2 years ago has quit. No reason was offered for Linda Yaccarino's departure. Separately this week saw an AI model that's on X posting anti-Semitic replies on the platform.
I think it's ridiculous to start a third party. We have a tremendous success with the Republican Party. Third parties have never worked. So he can have fun with it, but I think it's ridiculous.
And in another Musk-related headline, a widening rift with President Trump as the billionaire said he would launch his own political party. It's been seen as a crucial test case. A federal judge in New Hampshire has blocked Donald Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. Babies born in the U.S. automatically are entitled to citizenship, something U.S. President Trump wants to stop. Groups that would be affected, undocumented immigrants, of course, and many Indians legally here in the U.S. as well who are working or perhaps studying. Now, the legal drama around it remains extremely complicated. Just last month saw the Supreme Court in a case related to birthright citizenship back Trump in his request to curb nationwide injunctions from lower courts. Let's try and make sense of this back and forth, which can be somewhat of a head spinner, but not a head spinner for our next guest here, or our first guest on the show, David Leopold, an immigration attorney. David is also former president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. David, thank you for your time here on Washington Watch. David, how did a lower court, this federal court judge, manage to block Trump's order despite what the Supreme Court said 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, let me get to that. That's a very good question. And let me make 3 quick points before I get there. What we're seeing across the United States right now is an attack, an all-out attack on due process. And that's what brings in the birthright citizenship. So it's an all-out attack by this administration on due process, point 1. Point 2, it's a smokescreen. It's a smokescreen for the fact that they're taking away Medicare from people, that they're cutting education benefits, they're taking money away from veterans, the arts, and on and on. And finally, you know, this is not what America is. This is plain ugliness. And this is not Americans. This country is built on taking care of each other, built on immigration, built on the best and the brightest coming here, working hard, and making a life for themselves and their family. And the ugliness that we're seeing across this country just doesn't fit into who we are. Now, to the birthright citizenship question, and the court issuing a nationwide injunction, what the Supreme Court's decision of a couple of weeks ago did was basically turn the tables and send everything back to the lower courts to figure out exactly what to do in these situations. In other words, the court said, well, we're not going to have federal judges generally issuing nationwide injunctions, but we are going to have them looking at other statutes, for example, such as the class action rules. And that's what this judge did here. He said that the class of mothers, so the class of babies, the class of children that were born in the United States, which, as you correctly point out, includes so many South Asians, people from India, who are here studying, who are here producing, who are here adding to the economy and to the fabric of our culture. Their children should be U.S. citizens as well. And so what this judge did was he certified this class, and he put a hold on it.
So basically using a sort of exemption, the Supreme Court order really left room for broader relief through this filing of a class action lawsuit. In this case, all kids will be affected by Trump's order. David, how significant is this ruling then by the federal judge, given that this is most definitely going to be appealed by the Trump administration?
Well, it's significant because the federal judge has begun to extrapolate or define what the Supreme Court has done in the CASA case, which was the birthright citizenship case that was decided a couple of weeks ago. Remember what that case did. They did not decide, the Supreme Court did not decide on the merits of the birthright citizenship executive order. That's the order that President Trump put out shortly after he became president, that said the children of undocumented immigrants are not US citizens, and the children of folks on H-1Bs, visas, O-1 visas, and others, J-1 exchange visitors, are not US citizens. He put a hold on that, this new judge. And what he did was he did it in
Right.
the context of the Supreme Court's decision. So it's framed in the context of a certified class action. And it's important because it'll be the first framing of the issue before it makes its way back to the Supreme Court. That's why it's important. We all know it's going to be appealed, but it's important for two reasons. Number one, temporarily gives some relief to all of us from the chaos that has ensued from this executive order on birthright citizenship, number one. And number two, it begins to carve out the position,
Right.
the legal position that the Supreme Court will have to adjudicate later in the year or probably next term.
Okay. David, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time here on Washington Watch. In other news now, the Trump administration is turbocharging the enforcement agency in charge of deporting people who violate the country's immigration laws. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, has got a cash infusion of $160 billion. The funds have been allocated as part of Trump's big beautiful bill, which was recently passed, signed into law. While the Trump administration has said its focus is undocumented immigrants, many worry of a potential fallout on others. Our next guest says there could be consequences for foreign students, H-1B visa holders, and naturalized US citizens as well. Kripa Upadhyay is an immigration attorney. She joins us from Seattle. Thank you so much for your time here. Kripa, how does ICE's impact on people here on legal status?
Well, good evening for you, sorry.
Kripa, I think we're having some audio. I'm going to ask you that question again. How does this ICE $160 billion budget have an impact on people here on a legal status?
In a myriad of ways, really. So we've already seen previously student visas, or holders of student visas rather, be threatened with removal and deportation for taking part in protests. There is already information out there about increased scrutiny against student visa holders in particular, where they are now mandated to provide complete transparency as to their social media accounts. And so that's going to continue, right? So anybody on a student visa in the US is basically at risk of investigation and potential removal or deportation for anything that may be construed to be a violation of status. That same thing applies also for anybody that's on a work permit, for example. There have been reports recently of H-1B visa holders, particularly from India, that were barred entry into the US because they had spent 60 days or more outside of the United States whilst still on their H-1B status, right? So the enforcement piece is just going to be turbocharged. What that means for employers as well as immigrants that are in the United States, irrespective of their immigration status, is they need to be prepared for enforcement across the board, right? So employers are going to be seeing a much more robust enforcement agency in terms of I-9 audits, in terms of immigration officers appearing at offices, particularly to do fraud inspections to ensure that people on H-1Bs or L-1s are actually working at the locations they're meant to be working at. are actually doing the jobs they're meant to be doing and are being paid what the employer certified that they would be getting paid.
Okay, so Kripa, for example, I understand that students would face increased scrutiny, perhaps also H-1B visa workers on H-1B visas. For example, they work for a company that sponsored a visa. Sometimes an individual might have a side gig, maybe an unpaid one. Would that be a problem? Say it's someone who's perhaps doing stand-up comedy every Tuesday night, but not necessarily getting paid for it. Would that be an issue?
Yes, the thing about active employment versus passive employment is actually regulated by IRS, not so much by immigration regulations, right? And the way that immigration understands this is anything that construes employment. So in the H-1B space, in particular, let's say you are working voluntarily for an entity, but that entity normally would have paid that an individual to do that same work, you can no longer volunteer. That's no longer
Right.
considered a volunteer job, right? So in the H-1B context, for example, and in the E-2 context specifically, right? If you're doing a side job, even something like investing in real estate, and you are the one that is putting your property on the market, you're the one that's actively involved in that business, that counts as unauthorized employment.
Right, thanks very much indeed, Kripa, for that, for giving us all those pieces of advice and also your insights. In other news now, US President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump will be visiting Texas Friday, a week after a deadly flood in Kerr County and other parts of the region. Trump has expressed support for flood alarms in Texas as angry voices grow over what could have been done to prevent the deadly disaster.
The blame game has begun. Could things have been different? Among the over 100 people dead, 27 children and counselors from Camp Mystic, a Christian summer camp for girls. Their cabins torn open by a river that rose from 3 feet to 34 in just 90 minutes. The National Weather Service did issue alerts via phones and weather radios as early as 1 a.m. on the 4th of July. But critics say those alerts were confusing, delayed, or ignored. The most urgent warning describing a particularly dangerous situation came at 4:01 a.m. By then, the river had already begun swallowing cabins. Local officials didn't post evacuation orders on social media until after 5 a.m., far too late. In an area known as Flash Flood Alley, alert fatigue is real. False alarms are common, and many residents say they either didn't get the message or didn't understand it. Democrats, led by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, are demanding a federal investigation into the disaster, asking whether staffing cuts and vacancies at the National Weather Service delayed vital coordination with local emergency responders. Senator Schumer says two key roles at the NWS office, the warning coordination meteorologist and the science operations officer, they were vacant. These roles are said to be crucial. They're the ones who translate weather data into evacuation decisions.
Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media. Blaming President Trump for these floods is a depraved lie, and it serves no purpose during this time of national mourning. Well, the alerts imminently were sent out before the flood when people were sleeping because the flood hit in the very early hours of the morning. So people were sleeping in the middle of the night when this flood came. That was an act of God. It's not the administration's fault that the flood hit when it did.
Years ago, Kerr County considered installing a siren system. It was rejected, called too loud and too expensive. Today, the cost is counted in children's shoes. One Coast Guard swimmer saved 165 lives at Camp Mystic. But as Sergeant Jonathan Lamb said, the last live rescue was Friday. Since then, it's been recovery and heartbreak. Rhythm Arcadia's report for NDTV World.
India is sending another trade delegation to the US soon as both countries try to break the deadlock over key tariff issues. Talks have stalled over duties on auto parts, steel and agriculture. New Delhi wants better access for Indian exports, but Washington is demanding market access for US dairy and farm goods. NDTV's Rishabh Bhatnagar has
what we've picked up from the latest on the trade talks that are ongoing between India and the US is the fact that the Indian negotiating team is set to go back to Washington for another round of fresh negotiations. Now, this is very, very interesting because just a week ago is when this exact same team returned from Washington from the US. And it was expected that a trade deal will be announced around the July 9 tariff pause deadline, but that has not happened. And instead, what we've learned from government sources is the fact that there will be another round of fresh negotiations that was earlier rolled out. It was said that the deal is now done with the technical negotiation bit, and now it hinges on political will. But clearly, that has not happened. Now, why this deal has not happened is because, firstly, the July 9 deadline is now August 1st. That is because the Trump administration, there were a lot of tariff uncertainties coming in from the US, especially with the additional 10% BRICS tariff threat coming in, an additional 200% pharma tariff threat coming in, and also the 50% copper tariff that was announced by the Trump administration. Also, a bunch of new tariff letters were sent out to countries starting July 9th. So a lot of uncertainty around that. On the Indian front, India has not budged from certain red lines like agriculture and dairy. India said that this will remain completely off access for the US, and that is something that has not sat well with the US negotiating team. Of course, there are hurdles, and over the next 20 days, we'll see what sort of a deal the two countries are able to reach to. There is a first tranche deadline around October of this year, and then there is the full deal that will happen later. So we're yet to see what sort of a deal will be reached upon by August 1st.
Now, this week also saw Donald Trump turning up the heat on a global trade war after a 3-month pause on punishing tariffs he announced in early April. Now, on Friday, Trump warned of 35% duties on Canadian goods starting August 1st. Midweek, we saw similar warnings for a host of other countries, Japan, South Korea, Brazil, including Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Trump says the EU should also brace for tariff announcements. We also saw warnings over duties on copper and pharmaceuticals. Take a look at what we can expect in the coming days. We are joined by author and columnist Dean Baxendale in Toronto. Dean, thank you for your time here on Washington Watch. Dean, Trump says that he would impose a 50% tariff on copper. It's used in all kinds of things, from weapons, ordinary wiring for people's homes, machineries. You have it. Now, Mexico and Chile are saying they'll find other markets if they can't get around these punishing duties from the US. How feasible, though, is this kind of approach to really pivot elsewhere?
Well, yeah, that's the question. America wants to reindustrialize and bring back its manufacturing base for a host of reasons. We saw the vulnerability of supply chains during the COVID crisis and our reliance specifically on China, and hence divestiture from that Chinese alliance has been taking place for some time. But of course, there's much bigger geopolitical, ramifications of China's incursions in the United States at a whole bunch of different levels in terms of its economic warfare or hybrid warfare operations. The Mexicans and Chileans are going to have trouble finding, huge markets for the copper. But on the other side, the United States needs to recognize that it needs partners like Canada, Chile, and Mexico to create a North American, quite frankly, economic and secure zone that will help, I think, all economies. America can't go on its own. If it wants to isolate itself, we will find other markets. It will cause turmoil in Canada, Mexico, Chile, etc. But again, there is resilience, I think, amongst global trading partners. Hence, our minister, Anand, Foreign Affairs Minister, currently in Asia, looking at negotiating on the ASEAN agreement. And I think that Canada and Donald Trump, quite frankly, is forcing nations to look elsewhere. And I think this will not serve America's best
Indeed.
interests in the medium and long term. Might in the short term, he may placate his base
Okay.
and win political points, but he's going to lose the war.
David, we've got to leave it there. And like you said, countries looking at other deals, including Canada, which is looking at a deal with ASEAN countries in Southeast Asia. Thank you very much for your time, and we've got to leave it there on Washington Watch. I'm Allister D'Souza in Washington, D.C.
This is so wild that I actually, from a dream, started a business. I don't think I could ever work for anyone else ever again.
Hiya. Americano, please. Your house blend. Splash of oat milk.
Are you going to do this every time?
Nescafe Azera Americano.
So you're paying contactless, or...?
Irresistibly smooth barista-style coffee at home.
Someone's happy. Get that lucky cow feeling with luckycowbingo.com/bingo. The site that's bursting with beautiful bingo games. 75 ball bingo. Even 90 ball bingo. Fill your bingo boots today. Get that lucky cow feeling at luckycowbingo.com/bingo or download the Lucky Cow Android app from the Play Store.
I'm in. Okay, now, you can have a great first day. I promise, all right? Give me that.
Your donations helped 3D print his heart to guide his surgery and saved his life with a groundbreaking innovation. And the future breakthrough that could cure her is closer than ever. Help us turn science fiction into reality and save more lives like hers. Donate to the British Heart Foundation now.
Magic family moments deserve the perfect setting. A stylish awning from House is the ideal addition to your outdoor space. Available in a range of colours and finishes, and with the option of integrated lighting and heating, you can enjoy your outdoor space for even longer. Now that is magic. House awnings, made for life.
Welcome to rooms where real life unfolds, where awkward spaces become favourite places, and space to work works for you. Welcome to more space to be yourself, with your room designed your way, where there's always room for one more chapter. Welcome to proudly on display or safely out of the way. Welcome to that feeling of home. Welcome to Sharp's fitted furniture for every room. Book your free home design visit today at sharps.co.uk.
I bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
If our lenders charge hidden commissions, then I've made my claim.
I could be owed thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim. It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
Some people think life slows down in your 50s, but I'm just getting started. And I don't want my lot to have to worry about funeral costs. Let them spend their money on nicer things. So I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period. Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life. Unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 470 4474 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
Whatever you need to ask about cancer, Macmillan's free support line is just a call away.
Hello, Macmillan.
Whether it's money...
Am I going to lose my job?
Getting on with life.
Can I still go abroad? Get insurance?
Or just need someone to listen.
How do I tell them?
Our specialist advisors are here to help as often as you need them. Whatever you need to ask, cancer, money, life, call us now on 0808 134 1000.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout.
Nice one.
It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on! Search Sun Life Plan today and get a free gift card.
Will the new Canadian government right the wrongs of the Trudeau regime and crack down on the Khalistani groups that seem to enjoy a free run in Canada? But first up, a young woman, just 25 years old. She was a tennis player, an achiever, a daughter, building her own dreams. She has been shot dead. Not by a stranger, not by an intruder, but by her own father, in the comfort of her own home, in the heart of Gurugram's upscale Sushant Lok. Radhika Yadav was killed, shot 4 times. What was the crime? It was that she wanted to run a tennis academy in her name, that she dared to earn, that she gave her father financial support while he resented living off her income. Deepak Yadav, her father, has now confessed that he pulled the trigger, and the reason, he said, he could not take the taunts anymore. People were mocking him for being dependent on his daughter's earnings. His ego could not handle her empowerment. Let's call it what it is. This isn't just a case of domestic violence or personal conflict. This is a brutal indictment of how this society, our society, still sees its daughters. When sons earn, parents boast. When daughters earn, many still bruise. When sons move ahead, families take pride. But when daughters take the lead, some call it disobedience or dishonor. Radhika had turned her passion into purpose. From tennis courts to a professional academy, she wasn't just making money, she was making a mark. But that became a problem. A daughter's success became a father's shame. So tonight we ask, how fragile is masculinity that a father kills because his daughter was successful? How long will women's achievements be seen as threats rather than triumphs? And how many more daughters must die before we admit we are raising sons to dominate, not coexist? Radhika's story, ladies and gentlemen, isn't just one of loss. It's a gut-wrenching reminder that behind the facade of progress, patriarchy continues to pull the trigger, literally. She was just 25. She had dreams, ambition, independence. But her own home became her grave. Here's her story.
A medieval horror in the Millennium City. A young, promising tennis player, 25-year-old Radhika Yadav, was shot dead by her own father inside their home in Gurugram. A murder that has sent shockwaves across the country. What could lead a father to shoot his own daughter? Radhika was a state-level tennis player, a daughter, a coach, and the pride of the family, until that pride turned into taunts and then murderous rage. Her father Deepak Yadav shot her using his licensed .32 bore revolver. According to the FIR, Radhika and her mother Manju Yadav lived on the first floor of their Sushant Lok residence. Shockingly, Manju was at home when the murder happened, in the same portion of the house.
देखिए ये जो वीडियो है, ये वीडियो इस हत्या की वारदात से करीब 1.25 से 1.5 साल पहले का है और जो फिलहाल तक इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसमें परिवार ने बताया है कि ये वीडियो उनके कंसेंट से बनाया गया था और इस वीडियो को लेकर के कहीं भी कोई डाउट ना तो पुलिस के समक्ष है और ना ही इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कोई ऐसा फैक्ट सामने आया है। हत्या की सिर्फ फिलहाल तक एक ही वजह सामने आई है, वो था टेनिस एकेडमी।
Radhika's uncle Kuldeep Yadav was the first to reach the spot after hearing gunshots. He alleges that Deepak was unhappy with Radhika's growing independence and success, especially her tennis academy, which she ran independently. The accused father has told police that locals taunted him for living off daughter's income and that enraged him, which led to the murder. A stark reminder of the patriarchal and medieval mindset that still endangers women in our country. Then there was also Radhika's love for making reels and music videos that further led to regular confrontations with her father. The motive behind the killing is still under scrutiny, but questions are also being raised about why Manju Yadav, present in the house, neither heard nor intervened. She has so far refused to record a formal statement with the police.
हत्या की जो पीछे की वजह है वो एक टेनिस एकेडमी चलाने है, जिसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया तो उसने ये बात नहीं मानी, तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने गुस्से में इस वारदात को अंजाम दिया गया। कुछ पेंडिंग लीगल प्रोसेस हैं जिनको पूरी करने के लिए पुलिस के द्वारा उनकी कस्टडी हासिल की गई है।
कितने दिन की रिमांड मिली है? एक दिन का मिला है। एक दिन का। सर क्या कुछ रिकवरी करनी है या कहानी जो ये एमुनेशन रिकवर करना है? एमुनेशन कहाँ फेंका है सर, बताया अभी तो कुछ? इसके इनकी जमीन है कासम गाँव में, वहाँ से लेकर आना है। कौन सी गाँव से सर? कासम। कहाँ पे? रेवाड़ी के पास ही।
A young life cut short, a father now in custody, a mother silent, and a family torn apart by a gun, by ambition, and by a truth still waiting to come out.
It's not just a crime and a murder. It's much more. A sad commentary about women who are financially independent and are living a public life on their own terms. About how they have to face trauma, pressure and even bullets like Radhika Yadav. With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
And joining me on the show is Tania Sarai, who is a professional tennis player and she is a friend of Radhika Yadav. Taruka Srivastav, former Asian Games player. We have Adanya Nayak, a tennis player again, former Asia's #1 singles junior team's tennis player. Shagun Chaudhary is an Olympian who's joining us. We have Yashwardhan Azad, former IPS officer. Professor Minakshi Pahuja is an international swimmer, and Dr. Sunil Dabas is a Padma Shri and Dronacharya awardee. So we have a panel full of achievers. Taruka, why is it that not just the society but even the family is not able to accept an achiever daughter, an achiever wife? Why is it difficult for a family to accept? Why was it difficult for a father to accept that Radhika was super successful?
Maria, I think you mentioned earlier, patriarchal mindset is deep rooted in our culture, within our families. And I would say it's not shocking because such things start from home. And she was independent, like you said, running an academy. For anyone who lives in Delhi and knows the tennis circuit there, they know how difficult it is. So she was already making her mark. And what he said, what her father allegedly said, what's being reported is that he was being taunted. So what? I mean, if the women in the house is earning, if anything at all, you should be supportive and be proud of your daughter for doing it all alone, single-handedly. But like I said, it's the patriarchal mindset which is so prevalent in our society that we've taught, we're promoting independence for women and empowerment for women, but you're not teaching our men how to handle that. So I think, and it starts from home, I think that's where we are still lacking as a society, and we have a very, very long way to go.
Adanya,
because obviously as a
is it a case everywhere that at one stage or the other women face this?
I would say yes. I mean, I know people from extremely privileged family, extremely well educated, facing similar things. You talk about this. I know of people going through divorces and the families are not accepting their daughters back home because of the societal pressure. And I'm talking, these are like very educated people. These are the creme de la creme of our society.
Adanya, your experience as a tennis player yourself, please. Do you have a story to share?
Yeah, thank you, Maria, for having me on this show. And we face this, I think all women achievers face this. You know what I mean is, I think when women succeed in India, it's taken more like a suspicion than a celebration. Like if we break through our assigned roles of mothers, caregivers, or you can say, people who are dependents, I think it just shakes the fragile ego of men. And many times, I mean, even when I've been extremely privileged to be, having parents who have been so pivotal and supportive. But the society pressure is not absent, like every time you have to look good to kind of, participate. Also, you have pressure saying, okay, now what? What is the practicality behind your career? It has to end when you have to settle down. What happens next? You have to eventually stop. Unsolicited advice on marriage, and even direct hurdles like lack of sponsorship, fewer opportunities than men, sexual harassment. So we have gone through all of that. And I think the same is what our
what you
young,
said,
talented
Adanya, I think that will be the takeaway here. And let me bring in Yashvardhan Azad, who's a strong feminist himself. Yashu sir, the point here is that a successful woman is always being viewed with suspicion, and there's no celebration of her struggles. It's not easy to reach where all these women that we see on our screens have reached.
I agree with you, Maria. In fact, to recall from my own experience, even in the IPS, where we were getting women, very, very few of them. And I saw in my own batch when they were outperforming us in many things, even in horse riding for that matter. So that's very true. And especially there are certain states where this patriarchal system is so acutely, around the families, around the society that's very look at the kind of society we have, which is taunting the father and telling him that you're living on your daughter's earnings. I mean, this is shocking. And this is in Sushant Lok, which is an upmarket, upscale area. So this is what we were associating, this kind of honor killings or whatever with the rural area is come into the urban center. So I agree with the panelists that this thing is getting widespread in our society. For example, I mean, this girl, this brilliant girl at the age of 25 who could be earning on her own could have easily been on her own. So she would be making independent decisions. She would be signing her own checks. She would be going out at night, coming back on her own, having her own friends. And the father, who was a builder earlier and had the complete command over the family, has suddenly lost it. And so he cannot tolerate it. I'm shocked, Maria, for one reason, that this life could have been saved, that this is very visible in today's society. And his brother living downstairs, that is the girl's uncle, at least he could have advised. And if he couldn't have gone through, told the police.
The mother could have advised. When all the taunts were coming, the father could have taken it differently, could have said that I'm celebrating my daughter. I've spent a lot of energy and time in building her. What I'm told by people close to the family, Yashu sir, is that the father used to travel with the daughter when she was young to take her to various academies all across the world. That is the story of the investment that the father did. And when did that trigger happen in his head is something that I want to perhaps understand from Tania Sarai, who is a professional tennis player and had met Radhika on certain occasions. Tanya, did Radhika at any point tell you about her equation with her father? What was the nature of the relationship between the father and the daughter?
It was normal. She had never informed me like
yes,
about her father.
Okay. If you can say it a little clearly for our viewers, because there seems to be some problem with the audio. Yes, that's better. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Please go ahead. Okay, I'm going to fix, I'll ask the producer to fix that. In the meanwhile, let's bring in others now. Shagun, come in now. The concerns here, it's a long list of achievements, Shagun. So let me read that for our viewers as we are celebrating Shagun as much as we are celebrating Radhika, Adanya, Taruka, Tanya, all these women who are tennis players, successful sportswomen. So she is the first woman to represent at the Olympics shotgun, Olympian Asian Games medalist, Asian shotgun medalist, National Games champion. So a long list here, Shagun. Did you wake up to this shock, or is this something that is being discussed among women achievers such as this?
Maria, first of all, thank you for having me on this panel. It was absolutely shocking to see that the family that brings up a child and invests so much in their career actually gets succumbs to societal hypocrisy and stoops down to a level, or not and breaks down to a level where they have to shoot their own daughter for the achievements that they have pushed her to achieve. So it is, it just reeks of deep-rooted patriarchy. It also reeks of toxic masculinity, and it reeks of a very fragile ego. And I feel that is what, because it's not about the income, it's about control. And in today's day and age, I don't see why women becoming independent and becoming financially independent and being a support to their parents should actually be seen as something to be ashamed of. It's something to be proud of. I come from a family where I have reached the heights that I've reached just because what they had, and they actually bask in that glory. So for me, it was shocking to see that somebody, your safe space, your person to go to, who has pushed you to achieve what you've achieved, to open an academy, to reach that level, has actually pulled the trigger. I mean, it is, I still haven't come to terms with it because it's absolutely bizarre, but it actually shows the hollowness that exists in today's society, where everybody is so influenced by what other people have to say about your child. Instead of being proud of your child, instead of putting her on a pedestal and flaunting her and saying, this is what she's achieved and your children should be like her, you are succumbing to pressure where they're taunting. So what if she's financially supporting you? Don't sons take care of their parents? So where is the difference? It just shows to see what a progressive society we are, where women have also started earning, they are independent, and they are taking care of their parents. So I don't see where the problem lies. The problem lies in the mindset. And that is what, as it's a haunting news, but it also pushes us to see that we need to have a change in the mindset, where we need to educate the generation which come from tier 2, tier 3 cities, to show what a gem they have in their household, to actually have the ability and the capability to believe in their child. Sports is a gamble.
Yes.
Right? It is, I mean, there are no, it's not like education or something that you get a degree and the chances of getting a job.
And yes.
Absolutely. So for somebody, and in that gamble, you have shown faith in your child. And when your child has performed,
you lose faith. And then you succumb to societal pressure, the hypocrisy of the society. And you know, since Tanya is back, I want to understand from you, Tanya, did at any point Radhika share details of her father and her equation with her father?
I don't know much as she used to be alone most of the time, rarely talking to the people.
Okay. So when you came to know about this, what was your thought?
I was so shocked about this news.
So if she did not speak to many people, did she, when was the last time you met her? Because that will perhaps give us a sense of whether this pressure was building on for some time.
I last time met her in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, where we went to play W15. It's been 1.5 years.
Okay. And what was the conversation in Malaysia? Did any of her parents accompany her, her father or her mother?
No. She came alone to play and supporting herself.
And did she share plans of her career? What was it that she was aiming for? What was it that she was dreaming for?
Yeah, she told me she wants to support the kids and go ahead in life.
So
that's why she built an academy for the poor kids and she wants to help them.
So an academy for the poor children, is this what she wanted?
Yes.
What else did she tell you?
Yeah, she used to tell me that I have to achieve something in tennis and I am to help the poor people which they can't afford like in the tennis. I want to give them free coaching.
Give free coaching. I mean, those were noble thoughts, certainly, Dr. Sunil Dabas. Welcome to this broadcast. We are, of course, talking about a very, very tragic incident. You are a Padma Shri, Dronacharya awardee, national coach of female kabaddi. जब वहाँ पर महिलाएं आती थी कबड्डी सीखने के लिए, तो क्या आपने ये देखा कि कुछ तरह का इक्वेशन बिगड़ जाता था अगर वो महिलाएं सक्सेसफुल हो जाती थी, कामयाब हो जाती थी? परिवार से नाता खराब हो जाता था क्या?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो मैं ये सुन के बहुत शॉक्ड हूँ कि एक फादर कैसे एक बेटी को माइंडसेट पीपल्स लोगों का माइंडसेट खराब था ना। आपकी बेटी में तो कोई कमी नहीं थी ना, तो बेटी को उस लोगों के लिए क्यों पनिश किया गया? बेटी ने तो कुछ नेगेटिव नहीं किया था, वो तो आपको अर्न करके दे रही थी, वो आपको मेहनत कर रही थी, हार्ड वर्क का वो आपको कुछ करना चाहती थी आपके लिए, अपने परिवार के लिए। तो ये तो मैं खुद एक गांव से निकली हूँ और उस गांव में इवन मेरे फादर को भी कई बार लोगों ने कुछ कुछ ताने भी दिए हैं। ऐसा भी कुछ बोला था एक बार, मेरा नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स से गांधीनगर गुजरात के लिए सिलेक्शन हो गया, तो मुझे वहाँ ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाना था। तो उस टाइम पे मेरे अपने एक दो पड़ोसियों ने भी बोला कि अरे वहां भेजेगा बेटी को तो भाग जाएगी, फलाना हो जाएगा, दिकड़ा हो जाएगा, कुछ कमेंट्स दिए जरूर, लेकिन मेरे फादर ने कभी इन कमेंट्स को भाव नहीं दिया क्योंकि उनको अपने बच्चों को आगे बढ़ाना था। तो अपने बच्चों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए दुनियादारी से लड़ना होता पिता को, ना कि अपने बच्चों को ही जिंदगी से उजाड़ दे। ये तो मतलब फादर का एक एक्सट्रीम जो स्टेटस है वो सामने आया है। माइंडसेट लोगों का आज भी थोड़ा सा डाउनफॉल है, मैं ये नहीं कह सकती, क्योंकि मैं जिस एरिया से बिलोंग करती हूँ, गुरुग्राम में मैं हूँ और मैं कॉलेज में प्रोफेसर हूँ और बहुत सारे बच्चे आसपास के गांव से मेरे पास से कॉलेज में आते हैं, लड़कियां आती हैं, और मुझे जब भी मैं कोई टीम लेकर जाती हूँ तो मुझे लड़कियों के पेरेंट्स को कन्विंस करना पड़ता है कि बेटी को वहां लेके जाऊंगी, ऐसा ऐसा इवेंट है। तो उनके बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं कि रात में मेरी बेटी को नहीं रुकने देंगे, दिन दिन में आप ले जा सकती हो, और एक फीमेल साथ में आप जा रहे हो तो भेजूंगा, नहीं तो नहीं भेजूंगा, नहीं भेजूंगी। मतलब पेरेंट्स का एक प्रोटेक्टिव माइंडसेट तो है, लेकिन प्रोटेक्टिव माइंडसेट होना और उसके लिए अगेंस्ट हो जाना और इस लेवल तक, एक्सट्रीम लेवल तक जाना कि बेटी को मर्डर ही कर दे, तो ये मुझे एक एक्सट्रीम सिचुएशन है। केवल ये एक कारण हो ऐसा नजर नहीं आता, और भी कुछ कारण हो सकते हैं, लेकिन बेटी ने जो किया है वो एक अच्छा काम कर रही थी और एक अच्छी उभरते हुआ सितारा है वो, और वो एक हार्ड वर्क का दूसरा नाम है, तो ऐसी बेटी को अगर दुनियादारी से ही बिल्कुल उजाड़ दिया जाए तो ये मुझे नहीं लगता कि सोसाइटी का कहीं भी कोई रोल है। सोसाइटी एक पेरेंट को इस लेवल तक नहीं भड़का सकती कि वो अपनी बेटी को गोली ही मार दे।
तो अगर आप ये सोचती हैं कि कोई भी सोसाइटी में इतना भड़का नहीं सकता है, तो फिर ऐसी घटना घटी कैसे?
ये मैं इसीलिए तो देखो अभी सारे फैक्ट सामने आएंगे तभी कुछ पता चलेगा। मुझे अभी तक इस बारे में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं मालूम है। मुझे सिर्फ इतना ही पता चला है कि केवल लोगों के तानों से दुखी होकर उन्होंने इस टाइप का स्टेप उठाया है। तो फादर का भी इमोशनल जो सेटअप है वो कमजोर हो सकता है और वो इन सारे तानों को नहीं सहन कर पाए, वो भी एक पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है। उनके ऊपर भी प्रेशर ज्यादा हो सकता है, मैं ये नहीं कह सकती क्योंकि अभी बहुत सारे एंगल्स हैं इस पे।
लेकिन डॉक्टर डबास, कितना प्रेशर कि आप अपनी औलाद को मार दें और वो भी पॉइंट ब्लैंक पर पिस्टल निकाल के मार दें, कैसा प्रेशर हो सकता है?
मैं एग्री नहीं हूँ इस बात से, मैं एग्री नहीं हूँ क्योंकि मेरे पिताजी
it's unimaginable. No matter what the pressure, no matter what the taunt, a father should not kill his daughter.
I wanted to add here that how many times have we heard.
Yes, go ahead.
सोसाइटी का माइंडसेट जो है, मुझे दो बात बतानी है आपको कि बेटी कमाए या बेटा कमाए। एक सोसाइटी में, हरियाणा में नहीं, ऑलमोस्ट सोसाइटीज में एक जो नीचे तबके में एक चीज आई हुई है, बेटी के घर पेरेंट्स खाना नहीं खाएंगे, पानी नहीं पिएंगे, बेटी के घर का कुछ नहीं लेंगे, अन्न दान पान कुछ ग्रहण नहीं करेंगे।
चाहिए ना डॉक्टर डब्बा, अभी तक ये बदल जाना चाहिए था ना। अगर नहीं बदला है तो यही तो मुझे जानने की कोशिश हम कर रहे हैं। हर फील्ड में महिलाएं आगे हैं। हरियाणा की बच्चियां जाकर के ओलंपिक से मेडल जीतती हैं, वेट लिफ्टिंग में मेडल जीत रही हैं।
मैं यही तो बात कह रही हूँ कि ये माइंडसेट कब तक बेटियों के ऊपर ये माइंडसेट बना रहेगा, कब तक बेटियों का रास्ता रोका जाएगा?
That's exactly what I was saying. How many times have we heard a story where a mother shoots a son because he wants to open a sport academy? You know, we don't hear that because
one moment, Adanya. There are 2-3 reasons that are being cited in reports that are coming in. Of course, sports academy is one of those, and then she was asked to remove some video that she had posted also. I mean, her social media positioning was also unacceptable by her father.
Yeah, so she was being policed, right?
Was unacceptable to the father.
So it's more of a control instead of the father being worried about the child. It's more like women. It's just the belief that women need to be policed for their behavior or for keeping their point. So whether it's the Instagram reel angle or whether it is her academy, I think it's just the mindset that we need to change.
Let's bring in others now and start wrapping up this conversation. Yashwardhan Azad, come in now. What is evident here is that this is a case of a fragile masculinity that has led a father to kill his daughter because she was successful. And how long will women's achievements be seen as threats rather than triumphs?
Well, you're right. There are two aspects which not every father is like that. I mean, most of the fathers are very, very proud of their children.
Yes, my father used to celebrate everything. Yes. Every time I won a Ramnath Goenka award, my father was celebrating me.
Absolutely, absolutely. My daughter is in Bangalore. She's come back from MIT, and I was so mighty pleased that she's on her own and she's doing so well. So there are problems at two levels. One is, of course, that every father is very, very paranoid about his daughter's security. That's one. Dr. Dabas was talking about it, but the other aspect is also that in most of the cities and most of the fathers want their daughters to get into conventional jobs, be a lawyer, be a professor, be an IAS, be an IPS, foreign service, and things like that. And the moment they do well in other areas, then it's a problem for them because they realize, one, that they lose their control, and then they realize that they don't know how they'll get married, how will they carry on with their normal life. It's the social milieu and the social environment which throws up these issues for the parents. And I think for that, there has to be a change in the society. And how can it come? It can only come by these leaders whom you have here. You know, somebody is a great tennis player, somebody is a great weightlifter, archer, women in the IPS. And these are the people who should be advertised and become the role models instead of the ones we see in films. That's the only way we can go ahead. And that's extremely important.
Okay, Taruka?
Absolutely. I think I totally agree with Sir and what earlier Shagun ma'am had said, because it's very important. We need to change that mindset. And I would also say I have spoken with a lot of players, Olympian, Paralympians. You know, their achievements have changed the thinking of their entire villages. You talk to a Parul Chaudhary or a Priyanka Goswami coming from Meerut and other small towns, people used to taunt them. Why are your girls wearing shorts and going? And as soon as they started winning medals and represented India at the Olympics, the entire villages have come.
Okay, we know this isn't your dog. If this were your dog, he'd want you to know he was upset with you last night when you were watching TV at full volume. You didn't hear him whining, and he was devastated. All he wanted was tummy rubs and for you to get a hearing test. Book a free test today at bootshearingcare.com. And now that you can hear him, he's one happy pup.
If you won't do it for you, do it for them. You could have better hearing in just a week. Boots, with you for life.
If your garage looks like this, you need Tougher Man. A leading supplier of shelving for your home or business. Assembly is quick, easy and boltless. Buy one bay from just $59.99, or you can get 3 bays from only $119.99, saving you nearly £60. Plus you get a 5-year Storelex steel guarantee. Order now at tougherman.co.uk.
Dealing with my lot means making smart choices. And with our family growing, I want to protect the life we've built. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
Brilliant.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions. For £250,000 of cover, the price starts at just £14.77 a month.
That's less than I thought, and could help my husband pay off the mortgage.
With our Smart Family Guarantee, you'll have peace of mind.
I'll go ahead.
You'll also receive a 100% advance in the event of terminal illness and 10% cashback on your first year's premiums. That's the Smart Cashback. Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 977 5753 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Whether you're setting up a new nest, starting your own flock, or they just keep on growing, get more time to pay with VeryPay. You can buy now and pay up to 12 months later. And pay no interest, with nothing to pay at checkout. And you can easily keep track of payments in the Very app. More time to pay with VeryPay.
Just because my kids are growing up and have little ones of their own doesn't mean family life slows down. I'm busier than ever. Now that I'm in my 60s, I want to make sure that my family has enough to cover my funeral costs and other expenses when I'm no longer around. That's why I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period, unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years. With Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life, so you can just get on with things. Plus, unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Their claims process is really straightforward, so your loved ones will be looked after. Learning more couldn't be simpler and can be done in just a few minutes. All you need is your phone. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team today. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period. Get covered in minutes with no annoying trips to the doctor. With fixed monthly payments, prices start at just £4.42 a month. Plus, you'll get your choice of a £125 gift card. And you'll also get access to free 24/7 GP advice and health services as part of your policy. So stop putting it off and get it done. Then you can get on with all the fun stuff in life.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 977 6947 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
अगर कोई एक ऐसी उम्मीद कि शायद पहले ऐसा सोचा जाता था, ये यहाँ पर जो राधिका यादव के पिता का केस है वो शायद एक्सेप्शन हो, हमें उम्मीद दिला सकती है that perhaps things will become better. That Radhika, who was dreaming to train young kids from underprivileged backgrounds, could have perhaps written a new story. She wanted to write a story, something similar to herself. Dr. Dabas? Okay, so there seems to be some problem with that network. Taruka, come in.
Mariam, definitely, I think law has changed. I've spoken with athletes from grassroots level to the Olympics level. There is massive support from their families, by their fathers. You pick out name and I can, tell you their background stories. We hear every day, whether fathers, working at their farms and providing for their daughter so that she can compete at a national level, or sort of, the entire family getting together to raise money to send their kids abroad to train, etc. Things have definitely changed. There is obviously positive side to look at this. A very, very unfortunate incident. I would say, yes, it is one of those unfortunate incidents, that's it. Because otherwise, at the grassroots level where, we see like actually people from ground where they have only their farmlands to support themselves, they are also supporting their women. The entire villages are supporting their athletes.
Okay.
So it's all about the support system, Maria,
Yes, go
I
ahead,
think.
go ahead.
Because no amount of medals or accomplishments can, protect women from the belief that they're just possessions. You have to come out of that and be like, okay, they're individuals, they'll have their own dreams. And we need more women like Radhika, who give back to the sport so much. By, despite of facing multiple injuries, that she decided to open this academy and dedicate her life to tennis. So we need achievements like this. And I would just end with like, no woman deserves to die for dreaming big.
I want to say something more about which is really shocking to me.
Go ahead, Tanya. Boliye.
How they are supporting the father for doing the right thing. What is the meaning of father in our lives? A doctor is a blessing from God. So what is this earning? What if she is earning? What is the problem?
डॉक्टर डब्बास, थानिया ने एक बहुत ही अहम सवाल उठाया है, एक बाप की जिम्मेदारी क्या होती है?
यस, मैं सबसे पहले तो फादर की जिम्मेदारी ये नहीं, फादर बेटी के सबसे करीब होता है। लेकिन जो ये सोसाइटी का, मैं आपको इसमें दो स्ट्रक्चर पर आप जाइए, एक आप रूरल बेल्ट में जाइए और एक आप शहरी में हैं। रूरल बेल्ट में अभी भी सोसाइटी के अंदर फीमेल की सिचुएशन उतनी अपलिफ्ट नहीं हुई है जो होनी चाहिए थी, क्योंकि वहां पे डेवलपमेंट ने पेनिट्रेट तो किया लेकिन माइंडसेट चेंजअप नहीं हुआ है। तो जो माइंडसेट वहां पे है वो सोसाइटी के ऑर्थोडॉक्स सोसाइटी आज भी है, स्टीरियोटाइप लोग आज भी हैं, और वो एक लेवल तक कहीं ना कहीं लोगों की लाइफ में उसका प्रेशर होता है सोसाइटी का। वो सोसाइटी का प्रेशर जो है उसमें दो चीजें, जो एक में आज भी हम दो चीजें झेल रहे हैं वहां पे विलेजेस में, खासकर वहां पे बेटा और बेटी का जो इक्विवेलेंट स्टेटस है वो आज भी एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं है। जो ये बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ अभियान चलाना पड़ा, क्यों चलाना पड़ा? क्योंकि वहां फीमेल पिटिसाइड्स बहुत ज्यादा थे और उनका रेशियो जो है मैक्सिमम, हमारा जो रेशियो वो विलेज साइड ही था। बेटा को एक अहम प्रायोरिटी आज भी दी जाती है और बेटी को उसको सेकेंडरी पोजीशन पे रखा जाता है। अब रही बात कुछ एक्सेप्शनल जो फैमिलीज हैं वो सपोर्ट कर जाती हैं तो बेटियां फाइट कर जाती हैं उस माइंडसेट के अकॉर्डिंग। अब वहां पे आप बेटी की, मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले भी यही बात की थी कि बेटी के घर में पेरेंट्स जाते नहीं हैं, जाते हैं तो बेटी के घर में वो पानी तक भी नहीं पीते हैं। ये सोसाइटी में आज भी एक ऑर्थोडॉक्स सोसाइटी में ये है, एग्जिस्ट करता है। और दूसरी बात, जैसे मैं खुद बता रही हूँ, जिस गांव से मैं निकली हूँ, हमें ना ट्रैक सूट पहनने दिया जाता था, ना हम वहां से पढ़ने के लिए बाहर आते थे, वहां पे ट्रैक सूट हम पहन के नहीं खेल सकते थे, गांव में किसी को पता तक भी नहीं था। लेकिन माइंडसेट चेंज हुआ जब हमारे रिजल्ट्स आए और वो गांव के लोग सारे, जब हमारी अचीवमेंट आई, एशियाड का गोल्ड है, उस टाइम पे सब एयरपोर्ट, माइंडसेट बदला है। लेकिन हरियाणा में मैं दूसरा एक और वर्जन भी बताती हूँ कि आज भी बेटियों को, गांव से बहुत सारी बेटियां निकली हैं और वो एग्जाम्पल और रोल मॉडल बनी है, और उनकी वजह से दूसरी बेटियों के लिए पेरेंट्स फ्लेक्सिबल भी हुए हैं और उन्होंने इस चीज को एक्सेप्टेंस दी है। लेकिन वो जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है वो हर परिवार तक नहीं पहुंची है। अब वो सोसाइटी का एक एरिया अभी भी बैकवर्ड है, तो उस एरिया को बैकवर्डनेस से निकालने के लिए एक पीपल सेंसिटाइजेशन का एक होना, तो हम नहीं वहां पे पेनिट्रेट किया हो, लेकिन वहां पे अभी भी फीमेल के प्रति, वहां पे के प्रति थोड़ा माइंडसेट है।
All right, we have seen
नहीं
there
है,
seems to be a
बेटा और
problem with
बेटी में
that
फर्क
number
अभी भी
line,
जो
but
है।
Dr. Dabas, you have raised all the valid points, so thank you so much for joining us, Shagun, Adanya, Taruka, Tanya, and Yashvardhan Azad. Thank you for raising concerns and the questions on what has been certainly a horrific story. We are now being joined by Dharam Singh Yadav. He is a relative of Radhika Yadav. Dharam ji, क्या आप बता सकते हैं कि राधिका और उनके फादर या उनके बाप के किस तरह के इक्वेशन थे?
बहुत मधुर रिश्ता था, यानी कि दुनिया में सबसे प्यारी चीज उसको अपनी बेटी थी।
ये कैसा मधुर रिश्ता था कि फादर ये नहीं समझ पाए कि जिस तरह से टॉन्ट किया जा रहा है कि वो अपने बेटी की कमाई पर गुजारा कर रहे थे, वो संभाल नहीं पाए।
ऐसा है, ये खाता पीता परिवार है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि वे बेटी के पैसों से गुजारा हो। बाकी ये क्या हुआ है इसके बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकते। मैं तो एक ही है कि कुछ टाइम खराब था, क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ इस बारे में मैं कुछ नहीं कह सकता।
क्या आपने राधिका से कभी बात की थी पिछले कुछ दिनों में, या फिर ये हादसा के बाद क्या आप परिवार के कांटेक्ट में हैं या कोशिश की आपने उन लोगों से बात करने की?
अब देखो मैडम, हम तो इस माहौल में आए हैं, अभी हमारी किसी से कोई बात नहीं हुई है, ना कोई पता चला है, समझ गए। काफ़ी दिनों से 6-7 महीने से हम कांटेक्ट में नहीं थे। इस दौरान ये क्या सिचुएशन हुई है इस बारे में हम कुछ नहीं कह सकते।
All right, Dharam Singh Yadav there. Thank you for joining us. We are slipping into a short break. Coming up would be details of that attack on Kapil Sharma's cafe. Is this clearly a case of free run that is being given to Khalistani terrorists even in the new Prime Minister's regime in Canada? We'll get you details.
Cricket updates brought to you by Remitly. Send money home safely with Remitly.
Ayer no tenía comida y la niña estaba mal. Lloró. Estaba muy triste.
Fatoon, Leolida, and Monica are caught in the biggest global hunger crisis of the 21st century. Millions of children all over the world are going hungry because of conflict, displacement, and extreme weather. We urgently need your help to fight acute hunger and malnutrition. Please search Save the Children or visit savethechildren.org.uk to give £5 a month. Your £5 a month can help us give hungry families life-saving food and provide malnourished children the treatment they need to recover. No child should go hungry, so please donate today. Search Save the Children or visit savethechildren.org.uk to give £5 a month. Thank you.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony. About
At least 9 shots were reportedly fired at comedian Kapil Sharma's newly opened eatery in Canada's Surrey. The cafe, called Caps Cafe, is Kapil Sharma's debut in the restaurant industry. A video of the incident showed a man firing indiscriminately at the cafe where staff was present. Khalistani terrorist Harjeet Singh Ladi has claimed the responsibility for this attack, which was which was done to get a reaction, perhaps. No, in fact, it was in reaction to a joke which Kapil made on Sikhs. This blatant attack again brings back in focus the free run that Khalistani groups seem to enjoy in Canada. The big question is, will the Carney government act to right the wrongs of Trudeau regime, which actively hobnobbed with the anti-India gangs? Maha Siddiqui is joining me from Vancouver. Maha, what are you picking up regarding the investigation?
Well, the Surrey police, Maria, have said that they have already tried to speak to those who could possibly be witnesses in this case, as well as looked at surveillance cameras that could be around to piece together exactly what happened at around 1 a.m. at 120th Street, which is where in Surrey, Kapil Sharma's new restaurant is placed. Meanwhile, what they are also saying is now going forward, the frontline investigation service support team is going to take a look at perhaps whether this is linked to any other incident in the past and what the possible motive could be. The Surrey police say that they have not zeroed in on any suspects so far, but as you are pointing out, reports in India are suggesting that a banned terror outfit, Babbar Khalsa International, could be behind this attack against Kapil Sharma's new restaurant in Surrey in Canada. Meanwhile, while India has constantly raised its concerns about the issue of Khalistan and the Khalistan separatists having a free run here, on the other hand, the Premier of British Columbia, David Eby, had only 2 weeks ago pointed out that he is going to write to Prime Minister Mark Carney to declare one specific group that he claimed is operating from India, Lawrence Bishnoi gang, as a terrorist outfit. He also said that he knows and has heard from several business persons across British Columbia, and specifically in areas where there is a large South Asian community, for instance, in Surrey, that they have been getting threatening calls as well as extortion calls, and that it's very difficult for them to do business under these circumstances. And he blamed what he claimed were outfits that were operating from India. So both sides are, in one sense, blaming each other for this kind of a fallout that the business community here, specifically in Surrey, is witnessing.
All right, Maha, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us on The Last Word. Terry Miliski is a senior journalist. He's joining me. We have Dean Baxandel, who is a columnist of Sunday Guardian. Professor Swaran Singh is faculty, School of International Studies at JNU. Professor Singh, I'm beginning with you because BKI, which is Babbar Khalsa International Group, has been recognized as a terrorist outfit by the Canadian government. And Luddy is on the National Investigation Agency's most wanted list. And yet his men can carry out this kind of brazen shoot right in the heart of Surrey.
Indeed, Maria, BKI came to limelight from Kanishka episode, if you remember, of 1985. So it's a long-standing troublemaker for India, and I'm sure for other countries, including Canada as well. So they're being still, having that capacity to openly. There are 10 bullet holes, as the reports are saying. And I'm sure there were possibly more bullets used in this attack to operate in that sense so freely in Surrey, which is already an area of a certain amount of tension in that sense, where I'm sure the Surrey police is invariably alert to such possibilities, is surprising. And it is only again a demonstration of the kind of liberties and maneuverability that such people have continuously had in Canada. A certain hope was placed from Mark Carney coming to office, and it was thought that some of these elements would be marginalized, sidelined over a period of time. But Babar Khalsa also 2 days back, only in Punjab, a certain arms cache was also captured, which apparently, as the reports are saying, was meant for Babar Khalsa operatives in India. So in that sense, Pakistan, this is a group which is given sanctuary support, etc., from ISI in Pakistan. So post-military tensions, maybe there is an angle of India-Pakistan relations also. But one point that I think I must make is if Canada wants to appreciate such freedom to their citizens that they can express whatever way they want, then the very contention that Kapil Sharma's show was saying something about the behavior and clothes about a very martial order of the Sikhs, Nihangs, should be acceptable in that sense. That means if you want to have access of freedom in Canada, you should also appreciate other people's right to have that kind of freedom. But I think the deeper question is the difficulty of deciding between social norms, privacy, and freedom of comedy in that sense.
Yes,
and several
Terry,
comedians, whether it is
the question here is that there was this sense that when Carney came to power, that there would be a complete shift in his approach to the Khalistani elements. It appears to be more of the same from Trudeau to Carney.
You're asking me about that, are you?
Yes, Terry, please go ahead.
All right, sorry, I just didn't hear you. The answer is yes, that was the expectation from those of us who have watched and criticized the Khalistan movement in Canada, and the permission that it has long received, not just from the Liberal government of Justin Trudeau, but from previous governments, conservatives, liberals alike. And this is supposed to be coming to an end, particularly if Canada wants to repair the terrible relations that developed with India in the wake of the Prime Minister's accusation that India was involved in the assassination of a Khalistani leader, Mr. Nijjar, a couple of years ago. Now, the situation is, okay, what exactly can Carney do? At the look, he's not the police chief in Surrey, and if you're going around shooting at restaurants in Surrey, no, that is not legal. You're not even supposed to have a handgun in Canada, so it's no use saying, if you'll forgive me, that they have a license to do this. They have permission to do this. But more broadly, it is correct to say that they have had permission to fly their flag and to sing their song for 40 years, going back all the way to the Kanishka bombing of 1985. And there is something clearly that Prime Minister Carney can do and should do the earliest possible to date to send the message to India that we are addressing this. For one thing, we are not going to have members of parliament, members of the Liberal Party, campaigning to try to show that, oh, the Khalistanis didn't blow up the Kanishka in 1985. The Indian government blew up their own plane. It's a nonsensical piece of disinformation, which they've been peddling for 40 years. It hasn't got any traction, and still they keep it up, and still there was indeed a Liberal member of Parliament who was propagating that disinformation just last year in a petition using the parliamentary website to publicize this endeavor. And the petition was a flop, but they keep at it. So there needs to be a denunciation. There needs to be disapproval, visible and obvious, by the top political leadership in Canada. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to say that's okay anymore. It's not going to be okay in Canada to propagate hate and to make excuses for mass murdering terrorism by doing such things as parading around, as they do in Canada, quite legally, with posters honoring the great martyr Talvinder Parmar, the mastermind of Canada's worst ever mass murder, the bombing of the Kanishka in '85. So all of these things, to send that message, Carney needs to step up and say, okay, we've had enough of this, and members of parliament who indulge this are not going to be okay with the party leadership. We're going to do something about it. And then we're going to start, if we're not going to ban free speech in Canada, but that doesn't mean that we can't use our own free speech to denounce what they are saying and doing. And they got to start there, and soon.
Okay, Dean, the question here is that, of course, we all agree that the new Prime Minister has to step up, but what does it really do to the overall the confidence among the business community and the Indian community at large?
I think that's, Terry.
Yes, that's the question to Dean. Terry, that's the question to the other panelists, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, I think Terry's covered off, the key elements, with respect to this movement in Canada. He's been one of the most celebrated journalists in terms of understanding the methodology of the Sikh separatist movement inside Canada. What we now have, though, we're at a geopolitical flashpoint globally, where Canada needs to pivot from a trade perspective and be taken seriously by India and the Modi government, that we are indeed going to reform our ways. These warnings have been, cited by some of my authors, Gary Clement, former RCMP, Michelle Junot Katsuya, formerly from CSIS Asia Pacific. All of these issues have been known to successive Canadian governments, as Terry outlined. We have done nothing because we've rather leveraged the diaspora vote bank politics of this Sikh group. And they're very powerful because they are now part of organized crime, and they're using that money to influence politicians in Canada. And the fact that we would allow a politician inside our own government to put out a false petition about the bombing of of Air India is absolutely absurd. And this takes leadership at the top, and we need to get our act together. Canada, to be a sovereign nation, to be a nation of the values to which we all stand for, we need to combat this kind of terrorism, this kind of criminality inside our own country. This is not free speech. This is hate speech that many of them are espousing. So we need to come to grips. The Carney government needs to come to grips with this and get our intelligence and RCMP with a mandate to go after these criminals inside Canada, arrest them, and clearly demonstrate to the Indian government that we're finally serious about combating these issues inside our own country.
Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Singh, Dean, and Terry, on this broadcast. That's all from me. I'm putting this entire discussion on ndtv.com. Thanks so much for watching.
The big viewership Super Smash is actually deployed in the seats on NDTV, India's #1 English channel. NDTV 24/7 is all India #1.
किसने हक दिया आपको हाथ उठाने का?
No fakery, fixing, pure viewership. Trust.
Such a professional channel, NDTV.
Credibility.
If you win Lords, you have a chance to win the series.
No compromise.
सर आप लाइव हैं NDTV पर. कोई जरूरत नहीं उसको इंट्रो देने की.
NDTV 24/7, the undisputed #1.
Air fryer. It fries using air.
Everybody. Britain, what you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. You could get 0% interest for up to 24 months on all your purchases with a Barclaycard Platinum credit card.
You're flying without wings.
It fries using air.
Barclaycard. Make money work for you.
Hiya.
Americano, please. Your house blend. Splash of oat milk.
Are you going to do this every time?
Nescafe Azera Americano.
So you're paying contactless, or...?
Irresistibly smooth barista-style coffee at home.
Just sorted my guaranteed over 50 plan with Sun Life. There's even a cash payout.
Nice one.
It's given me the confidence to look after myself. I've started learning jiu-jitsu.
Come on!
Do you need a doctor?
Oh, no. With Sun Life, there's no medical questions.
Search Sun Life Plan today and get a free gift card.
Welcome to rooms where real life unfolds, where awkward spaces become favourite places, and space to work works for you. Welcome to more space to be yourself, with your room designed your way, where there's always room for one more chapter. Welcome to proudly on display or safely out of the way. Welcome to that feeling of home. Welcome to Sharp's fitted furniture for every room. Book your free home design visit today at sharps.co.uk.
I've bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
My lenders charge hidden commissions. I've made my claim. I could be owed thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim.
It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
Hospital, her light extinguished. Why? For daring to shine? For building a life that outgrew his control? This isn't just murder, it's a betrayal of love, of family, of humanity itself. Theories continue to swirl like vultures. They say Deepak was humiliated, mocked in Wazirabad for living off Radhika's earnings. She'd opened a tennis academy after a shoulder injury ended her career, coaching children with the same fire that made her a state champion. But her success bruised his ego, her own father's ego. Villagers called him weak and dependent. He begged her to close the academy to dim her brilliance. She said no. Was that refusal her death sentence? In a society obsessed with male pride, did her ambition become a crime? Then there's her voice, her Instagram reels, her role in a 2024 music video, Karwan. Deepak disapproved, demanded that she erase her online presence. Were those scenes, that public persona, too much for his honor? Did whispers about her character push him to pull that trigger? The police are digging, but the truth is murky. Was it the academy, the reels, or both, a toxic mix of patriarchal rage and social pressure that turned a father into a killer?
A medieval horror in the Millennium City. A young, promising tennis player, 25-year-old Radhika Yadav, was shot dead by her own father inside their home in Gurugram. A murder that has sent shockwaves across the country. What could lead a father to shoot his own daughter? Radhika was a state-level tennis player, a daughter, a coach, and the pride of the family, until that pride turned into taunts and then murderous rage. Her father, Deepak Yadav, shot her using his licensed .32 bore revolver. According to the FIR, Radhika and her mother, Manju Yadav, lived on the first floor of their Sushant Lok residence. Shockingly, Manju was at home when the murder happened, in the same portion of the house.
देखिए ये जो वीडियो है, ये वीडियो इस हत्या की वारदात से करीब 1.25 से 1.5 साल पहले का है और जो फ़िलहाल तक की इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसमें परिवार ने बताया है कि ये वीडियो उनके कंसेंट से बनाया गया था और इस वीडियो को लेकर के कहीं भी कोई डाउट ना तो पुलिस के समक्ष है और ना ही इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कोई ऐसा फैक्ट सामने आया है। हत्या की सिर्फ फ़िलहाल तक एक ही वजह सामने आई है, वो था टेनिस एकेडमी।
Radhika's uncle Kuldeep Yadav was the first to reach the spot after hearing gunshots. He alleges that Deepak was unhappy with Radhika's growing independence and success, especially her tennis academy, which she ran independently. The accused father has told police that locals taunted him for living off daughter's income, and that enraged him, which led to the murder. A stark reminder of the patriarchal and medieval mindset that still endangers women in our country. Then there was also Radhika's love for making reels and music videos that further led to regular confrontations with her father. The motive behind the killing is still under scrutiny, but questions are also being raised about why Manju Yadav, present in the house, neither heard nor intervened. She has so far refused to record a formal statement with the police.
हत्या की जो पीछे की वजह है वो एक टेनिस एकेडमी चलाने है, जिसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया तो उसने ये बात नहीं मानी, तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने गुस्से में इस वारदात को अंजाम दिया गया। कुछ पेंडिंग लीगल प्रोसेस हैं जिनको पूरी करने के लिए पुलिस के द्वारा उनकी कस्टडी हासिल की गई है।
कितने दिन की रिमांड मिली है?
एक दिन का मिला है।
एक दिन का। सर क्या कुछ रिकवरी करनी है या कहानी जो ये
एमुनेशन रिकवर करना है।
एमुनेशन कहाँ फेंका है सर बताया अभी तो कुछ?
जिसके इनकी जमीन है कासम गांव में, वहाँ से लेकर आना है।
कौन सी गांव से सर?
कासम।
कहाँ पे?
रेवाड़ी के पास है।
A young life cut short, a father now in custody, a mother silent, and a family torn apart by a gun, by ambition, and by a truth still waiting to come out.
It's not just a crime and a murder. It's much more. A sad commentary about women who are financially independent and are living a public life on their own terms. About how they have to face trauma, pressure and even bullets like Radhika Yadav. With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
Well, joining us now, Rohit Rajpal. He's been a champion Indian tennis player, president of the Delhi Lawn Tennis Association. He's been a captain of the Indian Davis Cup team as well. Thank you, Rohit, very much for being with us. It's just such a tragic occasion, not just for sports lovers across the country, but I think it's about what we become as a society, where a young, successful woman, her life is snuffed out, apparently because her father was jealous of his own daughter. What does it say about some people?
Firstly, I think everybody's in shock in the tennis fraternity as well. I spoke to some people who knew her and the father as well. And this has come as a great shock because normally you see parents behave in all kinds of ways. Sometimes, at least in India, you see a lot of parents actually obsessing over their children, and they have their own ambitions, which they want the children to fulfill. So a lot of pressure on the kids. And parents counseling, for example, does not exist at the moment. I think it's a very, very important factor. If you go train abroad, you see that parents counseling is as much given importance as the player development programs. And the roles that parents need to play needs to be defined, and their ambitions need to be realistic and managed, etc., etc. Which I think it's a bit of a complex problem. I see that obviously the father lost his cool and obviously took life of the child. I was told that he was all the time on the courts as well when she was playing, traveling with her, and but really never saw any aggression as such. He was I think pretty well behaved as a father, and very, very sad. I mean, very, very sad to see this happen. Of course, it's an eye opener for all the people concerned with sports and sports training. That as India grows with sport and as a sporting power, it's very, very important to bring in parents' counseling.
Rohit, I think it's beyond just the counseling of parents. I think this was a man who, according to so many reports, was jealous of the success of his own daughter. He wanted her apparently to shut down her academy. He was apparently, spoken to by people in his own village who said that, why are you dependent on the success of your own daughter? There was an element of jealousy in this, which stems at the core of the problem, patriarchy. And it's not just tennis, it's about what we have become in our country. How is this the worst example, in a sense, of where patriarchy can lead us?
Yeah, I mean, I think things are changing as we evolve as a country. You see a lot of the kids coming out and making their parents and their villages proud, whether they're boxers, wrestlers, etc. Where previously it was looked at as a man's game, but the girls are actually doing much better than the boys these days. And if you pick the sport, and you'll find out. So yeah, I mean, it's just part of evolving, but to take such extreme and aggressive steps, really, I don't know what went wrong with. Obviously, the father was not in great mental health, and I'm understanding from your programs as well that he was being taunted that she's making money and you're living off the children, but that does not still justify shooting your own daughter. So it comes back to it's a whole complex structure where it comes back to again managing ambitions for your children, and obviously he was obsessing. He was if you're abroad, you're not allowed to be near the players when they're training, because the coaches and the physios and the mental training people like to do their own job, and the parents itself have to go through counseling to be able to manage their own ambitions about their children and how to what line to draw, whether they interfere or they don't interfere in those things. But here you see parents trying to coach their children when they're not qualified to do that, put pressure on them to win. A lot of kids are lost, unfortunately, in India to these kind of pressures where they crumble at a certain age and they don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah. No, this is just awful what has taken place. Rohit, one final question very quickly. In speaking to all of the people that you did speak to, can you tell us a little bit about this young woman? What have they said about her?
Well, they said, they said that she was very, very hardworking. She was just like all the other girls. She was very pleasant, wanting to do well, aspiring to go up in the ranking. She was ranked 35 in India in the women's. So she was doing well as I was trying to talk to people to see if they could find any early signs of father's misbehavior or any kind of such thing. But they said no, the guy was very positive. He was always around, talking to coaches and taking her places and trying to see whether, how she could improve, and no signs at all, to be very honest. So everybody's in shock that such a thing with this pair of father and daughter could have happened.
All right, Rohit Rajpal, thanks very much for being with us. Dr. Kiran Bedi, Advaita Kala, and Dr. Sunita Gudara, who's an Asian marathon champion, join us. Dr. Bedi, from a policing standpoint, what we are told is that this man, the father, apparently earned between 15 and 17 lakh rupees every month from rental properties. He was financially stable, and yet he perceived his daughter's own financial independence as some sort of a weakness or a threat to his dignity or social standing. Again, what does this say about this mindset? And your thoughts on what appears to be at the core of this horrible patriarchal sense?
I see, I clearly see patriarchy at its worst. And in certain regions of our country, while women are being educated, given this kind of space, and this is to this extent where the father has made her a tennis player, I think is socially not digestible. So there's a very serious contradiction, what a parent may want and what the society will honor him for. The society doesn't go behind him. It probably is in real contradiction. And in certain regions, I'm not mentioning the name of the region, but in certain regions of this country, and let me say regions, certainly in the northern region of this country, patriarchy is sometimes at its worst. And I do rural development programs. I see this every day, where a woman is elected as a woman sarpanch, but she's namesake, and her husband is signing papers for her blatantly, because he says, isko nahi aata hai. Ye to women ki seat thi isliye. So while the family takes credit for their daughter-in-law becoming a woman sarpanch, yet actually at home, she's not a sarpanch. She's still the same homemaker, and the husband is, even the brother-in-law, this elder. I see this every day. So I see this father is exactly a very confused father who wants the daughter to be what he has seen can be, and the daughter had the potential. And what a beautiful way she's playing tennis.
Yeah.
I see the way she's stroking it. But a confused man outside in society. So the society is not with him. You need courageous fathers to have daughters do what this girl did. But he did not have the courage. I think he was a very confused father, a weak father, and a very contradicting father. On one hand, he wants something for his daughter. On the other hand, the society is not encouraging him and patting him on his back. Look, I've seen this in my own family. When my father put me onto tennis courts and made me play tennis, you know, my grandfather was not with him. He did it despite his own father. So I think there are these are patriarchal confusions which are existing in this country, and this became very, very evident.
Advaita, reports suggest that some of the tensions which arose from Radhika's Instagram reels, her role in a music video, Karwan. Do you believe that Deepak's disapproval of her public presence stems from conservative values, societal pressure, or specific objections to the content? Do you believe that this was a significant part of what may have, triggered all this? I realize it's speculation, but, we're just trying to figure this out.
I think this beyond. Sorry, carry on.
Advaita, go ahead.
Please. Okay. I think, Vishnu, I'm not really sure what the motive is. This is an interesting case because it's not a whodunit. We know who's done it, or at least who's admitted to having done it, but we don't know the why. And the Instagram is an interesting factor because she had a private account. There were only maybe 60 odd people who were connected with her there, of which only 3 or 4 were boys. So in all, in all kinds of research that has come out from this, it goes to show that this was not really a factor as such. Neither was it that video, that music video, which is about 1 year old. So if he was responding to that, then that's a really delayed reaction. Thirdly, he is by all accounts been extremely encouraging of her tennis. He's traveled with her everywhere. He's spent a whole lot of money. He set up an academy in May. Just in May, 2 months ago, for her because she had a shoulder injury and couldn't pursue tennis professionally. So he has been behind her all this time, putting in his time, his money, taking her for, psychological counseling for her games. So it seems like a very supportive father till what happened yesterday at 10:30 a.m. So I think we still don't know what the exact trigger was. And I think that maybe the family, going by reports, the fact that initially they tried to say that it was she took her own life, but when she was shot in the back, that was not a likelihood. And then the mother being not very cooperative, saying that she was in the room and didn't hear anything, didn't see anything, although the uncle came from the first lower floor right up as soon as he heard a loud bang. So it's all very muddled right now, and I don't think that we can at this point jump to any conclusion as to why this took place.
Yep.
Is the underpinning patriarchal notions? Most certainly. But remember, Haryana is also a state where you have a lot of kids in athletics and in sports who have won great laurels for the country, for their village, for their family. You have a lot of girls, for example, in wrestling, who again wear outfits which are like, stretch material, which are short, which are revealing, so to speak. So they come from even smaller towns. This girl came from Sushant Lok, which is a middle class, upper middle class area in Gurgaon. So it doesn't tie together at all. I think we need to give it a little more time before we understand what really happened.
No, I agree with you. Dr. Sunita Godara, one way or the other, and I think Advaita makes some important points saying that there's a lot more which will perhaps emerge. But, the fact that we've got a young life snuffed out, she worked very hard to get to doing reasonably well. She played at the state level. She, played in fairly decent ITF tournaments as well. Then she got an injury, took to coaching, which is what a lot of sports people do. She has students as well. We tried to reach out to a few of them. And then something like this happens. Your thoughts at, how a young life has been snuffed out. I mean, that's ultimately what this is about.
it's a loss to tennis also, because she was international player herself and she was coaching athletes. She had an academy which was very successful academy. That's why, you know, that money part is coming, that she was earning well through her academy. It means she had a lot of students in her academy. What father has done, I totally agree with Kirandi, that he was a weak father, confused father, and secondly, once the parents, one side they want their daughters to be, you know, bringing loyalty for the country, doing so well in their field, whatever field they are, and they give them full freedom. And then other hand, they don't want them to be independent, or there is some other reason also. Maybe this video which is shown,
that could have triggered.
okay, what this is 1 year old video, what she's saying, but trigger has come, you know, now. And secondly, there is some suspicion. Why mother saying that she didn't know anything, she did not hear anything, she was there in the next room, and she's not speaking, she's not even giving any comment in writing.
No, Dr. Godara, I agree. There are questions
there
which
is
have to be
something,
raised.
some other story behind all this that
All right.
only investigation can.
Okay. All right. Thank you
We'll come to
all
know
very much
later.
for being with us. I'm joined now by Vishal Uppal. He's been a former Indian Davis Cup player, a rail champion in his time at the national level, and did extremely well for India. Vishal, thanks for being with us. You know, your thoughts on the loss of this young life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think everyone who's heard about this has pretty much been left speechless. It's something which really is unimaginable. And to see something like this happen in 2025, when we should be progressing as a community or as a society, such a regressive act is just baffling. It's mind-boggling. Considering, Radhika is someone who's traveled. It's not that, she's from a small village, never seen the world or whatever, and the family hasn't traveled. But, it's just, it's ridiculous. It really is.
Vishal, just in terms of her journey, she became a coach, much like so many people, including you. And apparently her success as a coach and her financial independence resulted in some jealousy from her own father. I mean, how do you see this angle in what is emerging?
Well, I don't know the reasons why this has happened, Vishnu, but, for someone like me who's really fighting hard for promoting women's tennis in India, to promoting women getting more chances in India, we should be celebrating and embracing women when they are successful. And especially for a father who's invested a lot of his time and money in helping her become a tennis player and reaching a certain level. Why he's done this, what has happened, is just mind-boggling. But I think, when we see women successful, we need to be cheering them on even more and not, feel jealous about it.
And a final question to you, Vishal. This video that she made for Instagram, apparently a year back, apparently that may have been objectionable. I don't know how, to her father or whoever else. Plus, villagers pressurizing her father, saying that why are you sort of dependent on your daughter, or why is she financially so independent? Does this not hark back to the worst of Indian patriarchy?
Well, I've not seen that video. I've only seen, whatever I've read or seen in the media. But like I said, why are we becoming such an intolerant nation? We just need to be more kind towards each other. And for something as trivial as this, to kill your own daughter, it's unthinkable. I'm sure as time goes by, more will be revealed, more will come to light. But for me, like I keep saying, we as a nation, we as people, we as a society, we need to progress, not regress. We're in 2025. Come on, guys. Women need to have their rights. We have to cherish and celebrate them. You can't be praying to Ma Lakshmi and then treating girls like that. It's just ridiculous.
Vishal, it's just so sad. I wish we could be speaking in a better time, but we'll do that as well. Thank you very much for joining us. We're out of time. On Left, Right and Center, we'll take a short break. There's more coming up.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
I started this brand because I started being told no to my dreams.
So I didn't have any design experience. I didn't have any business experience, but I really had a sort of belief.
Running a business is really challenging, but I love it.
This is so wild that I actually, from a dream, started a business. We're Cheekbone Beauty.
This is Super Ceramics.
We're finished that.
We're Eastside Golf and we're powered by Shopify.
I'm in. Okay, now, you can have a great first day. I promise, all right? Give me that.
Your donations helped 3D print his heart to guide his surgery and saved his life with a groundbreaking innovation. And the future breakthrough that could cure her is closer than ever. Help us turn science fiction into reality and save more lives like hers. Donate to the British Heart Foundation now.
Whether you're setting up a new nest, starting your own flock, or they just keep on growing, get more time to pay with VeryPay. You can buy now and pay up to 12 months later, and pay no interest, with nothing to pay at checkout. And you can easily keep track of payments in the Very app. More time to pay with VeryPay.
If your garage looks like this, you need Tougher Man. A leading supplier of shelving for your home or business. Assembly is quick, easy and boltless. Buy one bay from just $59.99, or you can get 3 bays from only $119.99, saving you nearly £60. Plus, you get a 5-year Storelex steel guarantee. Order now at tougherman.co.uk.
You can count on Staysure, the UK's favourite travel insurance provider. We specialise in cover for over 50s with pre-existing medical conditions. And there's no age limit. Whether you're planning an epic, once-in-a-lifetime adventure or revisiting your favourite holiday spot one more time, we offer cover for single or multiple trips throughout the year. Staysure Travel Insurance, the UK's favourite. Get your quote online or give us a call today.
OK, we know this isn't your granddaughter. If this were your granddaughter, she'd want you to know that she's upset because you didn't hear her joke. It wasn't a particularly good joke, but still. Now you owe her an ice cream and a hearing test. Book a free test today at bootshearingcare.com. And now you can hear her jokes again. She's over the moon.
If you won't do it for you, do it for them. You could have better hearing in just a week. Boots, with you for life.
Well Man and Well Woman, the UK's #1 vitamins for men and women. Live life well. From Vitabiotics, the UK's #1 vitamin company.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, This is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
From interesting tech startups to industry-leading companies, politics, sports, culture, curry, cricket. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Like me, if you too thrive on interesting conversations, this is a show you cannot miss. Watch this space to know more about all matters and all people that make Britain what it is today. Out of Britain, with me, Radhika Iyer.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj. Let's take a look at the top headlines that we are tracking here at this hour. In response to a media query on the preliminary report on the Ahmedabad plane crash, Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu said that Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau is working on it. The report is likely to come out soon, maybe tomorrow as well. Amid Hindi imposition row, Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan backs Hindi language, says if Telugu is a mother language, then Hindi is like elder mother to me. 29-year-old national level tennis player Radhika Yadav shot dead by her father. Motive unclear, yet accused father sent to one-day police custody. Two weeks have passed, but Shefali Jariwala's autopsy report remains awaited. Cops seek one more week for the report. So what killed her exactly remains unclear. And heat on Shinde's Mantri Shirsat in Maharashtra, where a shocking video has come out a day after income tax notice was sent to the minister. Now, UBT alleges that Shirsat is sitting with bag full of cash in a hotel while the minister refutes these allegations.
The MLA selected me, High Command asked me to become the Chief Minister, so I am continuing.
That was Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah amid the Karnataka CM change talk. He spoke exclusively to NDTV, where he said that he has the support and backing of the High Command, and there is nobody and no party without any High Command support. And tonight we start with our big focus coming in from Odisha. This video, viewers, it is a chilling reminder of how deeply entrenched traditions can still dictate the fate of individuals in remote tribal belts. A young couple in tribal-dominated area, you can see, was made to punished by a kangaroo court for being in love and doing a love marriage, simply because they belong to the same clan. In the video, the young man and woman are seen yoked like oxen with a wooden plow across their shoulders, forced to till a field. why this is a punishment for their alleged crime falling in love. The shocking incident which went viral on social media shows the couple being subjected to public humiliation in full public view. It is amazing to see how such kangaroo courts continue in India. The incident, captured in disturbing video, has now gone viral. This has triggered widespread outrage in the state. According to reports, the young man and woman had fallen in love and recently got married. However, the relationship did not go well with villagers since the groom reportedly related to the bride as her paternal aunt's son, a union considered taboo by local customs. Later, the couple was taken to the village shrine as well and made to perform purification rituals in an attempt to cleanse their perceived sin. This is the information that is coming in as per sources. We also have breaking news coming in at this moment. And this is regarding the action that has been taken in the Odisha video that has gone viral, where a couple was made to plow a field just because they fell in love and for their love marriage. Now, 6 suspected accused have been identified from this video that you see on your screen. 6 accused have been identified, and FIR has been lodged in the case, and the action is being taken by the cops. My colleague Shreyoshi is also joining me for more on the phone line. Shreyoshi, tell us about the action that has been taken so far.
Well, the SP has confirmed that an FIR has been launched after the SDPO visited the spot and spoke to the people there to ascertain what had actually happened there, because of the sheer humiliation. It was absolutely inhuman, as you rightly pointed out, on the way the couple were made to till the field as though they were animals. And then there was a whole purification process that was done in full public view, where they were made to stand on the terrace of their home, and the entire village witnessed what was going on. A form of kangaroo court that had taken place in the district to hand out punishment for this couple who had a love marriage against their family's will. Now the police has stepped in. 6 suspects have been named in the FIR, and we are hoping there will be action that will be followed so that in the future no one gets to take law and order in their own hands.
Absolutely. It is shocking that such kangaroo courts continue to dictate what will happen in this country in the 21st century as well. Thank you so much, Shreyoshi, for joining us with those details. And now shifting our focus to more chilling visuals coming in, and you'll be surprised to see the real Bharat. You can see, despite over 75 years since independence, around 30 families in a village in Odisha's Birthright still lack a basic paved road. Now, what happened? Because there was no road, the groom was carried on the shoulders. The bride was taken carefully through this muddy road where the marriage procession was carried out. Look at the visual coming in. You can see there is no ghoda, there is no barat with more loud and show. This is only just baratis taking bride and groom carefully towards the marriage ceremony. Amidst this utter neglect, this is a newlywed couple. They had to endure a 3-kilometer muddy trek as their wedding procession waded through slush-filled roads. With no proper road access, locals were forced to carry the groom on their shoulders. The villagers from Birthright district witnessed an unusual wedding scene. A young groom, Shatrughan Mandal, married Ruma Patra from Harishpur. However, celebrations were marred by the deplorable conditions of the village road, which turned into a paddy field instead of a thoroughfare. My colleague Shreyoshi is also joining me with more details. Shreyoshi, do tell us about what happened exactly. Has any action been taken, or the administration, after this video is viral, has wake up from the deep slumber and taken some action that any road will be made or any kind of action will be taken?
Well, due to the incessant rainfall, the road has been completely inundated and has turned into almost a paddy field in that area in Birthright district of Odisha, where the locals have time and again complained to the state administration that there is absolutely no thoroughfare, and this is just a wedding celebration that was completely marred, where the villagers actually had to take the groom into the wedding venue because even the guests and family members refused to travel in that muck in their fineries for the wedding. And as you said, there was no fanfare for that wedding. It was almost a very solemn walk to the wedding and back when the bride was leaving her home. But so far, we are still awaiting a statement from the district administration. No action has come in. This is just a wedding. Imagine if there is a medical emergency, how people are supposed to reach out for first aid. So, of course, the district administration is yet to respond. But these visuals coming in from Bhadrak, where an entire thoroughfare has been missing because of the incessant rainfall, causing a lot of trouble to the people of the area.
Absolutely, and I'm sure that emergency-like situation would have come, and people must have crossed like the way they are doing it now in a celebration that has been marred by such condition. Thank you so much, Shreyushi, for joining us with those details. Now, shifting our focus to Arunachal Pradesh, where a teenage boy, a migrant worker, was lynched to death for allegedly sexually assaulting several minor girls in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, as per sources, the boy was arrested by the cops, but an irate mob had stormed into the police station. The angry mob pulled the accused out of the police station and lynched him to death. Police forces were reportedly outnumbered when the mob charged inside the police station and took the accused out. This is a chilling reminder of how mob justice is being delivered. My colleague Ratnadeep is also joining me with more details. Ratnadeep, do tell us about, have any accused been identified in the case? What action has been taken against those people who have done this?
At this moment, what we are picking up from police sources is that they're looking for visuals through which they can identify the accused. Remember, this incident has taken place this afternoon in Roing, which is the district headquarters of Lower Dibang Valley district of Arunachal Pradesh, where yesterday, upon the FIR by the parents of one of the minor girl child who was studying in this boarding school, these girls are between the age group of 6 to 8 years, 5 to 6 years to 8 years, and several of them were allegedly sexually assaulted by this accused, who was yesterday evening picked up by the local police there, and he was kept in the lockup in the police station, Roing police station, when angry mob of no less than 400 to 500 people, that's what we have been given to understand by our police sources. They stormed inside the police station. Police tried their best. Several police personnel also sustained injuries, but they were outnumbered. They pulled the teenage boy, who is a migrant worker. That's what we have been given to understand from Assam, who was there working for some construction work which was going on nearby that school, and he was beaten to death, lynched to death. Now, this is a grim reminder of such type of mob justice which has taken place in other parts of Northeast as well. And in fact, in Arunachal Tezu, there was a similar incident in a case which where there were allegations against an accused of sexual assault. And what we have picked up is that this accused was, for the past couple of days, in the evening, was sneaking into the hostel where these minor girls were there, and he was sexually assaulting them, when one of the girl child actually complained to their parents, and that's how the matter came to light, and an FIR was filed and he was picked up. Now, what we have been given to understand, Arunachal police is investigating the case. We are yet to hear officially from the Arunachal Pradesh government or the state police in terms of the sequence of event, but this is what we have picked up, and this is how this incident has taken place.
Right. Thank you so much, Ratnadeep, for bringing us those details. It is very gruesome when you see such news coming in, where mob is taking law into their own hands, and such justice is being served when it actually should have been served by the judiciary itself. Thank you so much. And shifting our focus now to Shefali Jariwala. 2 weeks have passed, viewers. What exactly happened at 11:20 when Shefali Jariwala was rushed to the hospital? The iconic Kaanta Laga girl. We covered what happened, we covered why it happened, but where is the report? Where are the cops who can accumulate all the facts and tell us this is what killed Kaanta Laga girl? No final autopsy report yet. 2 weeks have passed. We still don't know the cause of death. Cops, they are saying they need 1 more week for the autopsy report. police are ruling out any foul play, but fans are asking, where is the report? Where is the proof that there is no foul play? Who is hiding Shefali Jariwala's death report? Why there is so much delay, so much secrecy? It doesn't take too long. We'll also note down about what we know so far in Shefali Jariwala's death. Now, on June 27th, she was declared dead at 11:15 p.m. Then, she was rushed to the hospital by her husband. It was alleged that cardiac arrest could have been the case, after which she died. But we do not know for permanent yet what happened, as we still are waiting for the final postmortem report to come, which hasn't come so far. Then the cops are seeking that we need 1 more week for the autopsy report. We are still not clear what killed her. Forensic team yet to send this report, hence it is taking so much time. But why is there a delay? FSL team is continuing, it is examining blood sample and other related details of why it happened, why did she die. She was on anti-aging self-medication. This she has spoken about. She was also self-medicating herself for 8 years. This is also what we have picked up from sources. And then she was fasting since morning and took medication. Those were the anti-aging medication. This is all what is coming up from the sources. As per sources, took glutathione, vitamin C injection and antacid. This is what she took when she was fasting on the day of her death. And on June 27, what exactly happened? We are still waiting for that confirmed report that will come from the cops. But there are several theories that are floating around. First theory, let's talk about and decode what is happening, why when we are waiting for the report, there is so much furor over what killed her. Theory 1 is fasting and medication. On day of death, she was fasting and took anti-aging medications. Maybe that's why, that's what resulted. Story 2, possible food poisoning. Shefali Jariwala had stale food after fasting on day of death, which is June 27, hence she died. Or maybe it was the low blood pressure. Sudden drop in blood pressure may have triggered cardiac arrest. These are the theories that are floating around. We can't say for sure. Then there is theory number 4, anti-aging treatments. This is the one that has been much talked about. Shefali was on self-medication for anti-aging for 8 years. She was taking several medications. She was also taking self-medications for 8 years. Maybe that's the reason what killed Shefali. But we are still waiting for that final report to come out. No confirmation has come in. It has been 2 weeks. What's taking it so long? Where are the reports? We'll take a deep dive into what's going to happen, when can we receive, and we'll take another look. Shifting our focus now to Gurugram, where we witnessed a chilling murder where a father killed her own daughter. In a world where family ties are supposed to be unbreakable, one young woman's life was brutally cut short. A promising tennis star, 25-year-old, former state-level tennis player, was shot dead by her own father, Deepak Yadav. Why? Because he was being taunted for living off her earnings? Maybe. She was shot 5 times in her back. 4 bullets hit her. All this happened while she was cooking food in her own house. Deepak Yadav has been produced in court. He has allegedly confessed to killing her daughter, but the motive behind the murder is where it all circumstances, what happened, why did he kill her? There are several theories floating around that too. Radhika Yadav's stories are also a haunting reminder of how someone can be driven by such a toxic mix of insecurity, social ridicule, and control. Radhika's own father, can he become a killer? This is not just a story of murder, it's a chilling expose of the deeper issues that plague our society: gender bias, mental health, and honor-based violence. The threads that bind Radhika's tragic fate to a larger narrative of silence and suffering. We'll also take a look at the theories that are floating around. And before that, let's take a look at the report that we are getting in.
A medieval horror in the Millennium City. A young, promising tennis player, 25-year-old Radhika Yadav, was shot dead by her own father inside their home in Gurugram. A murder that has sent shockwaves across the country. what could lead a father to shoot his own daughter? Radhika was a state-level tennis player, a daughter, a coach, and the pride of the family, until that pride turned into taunts and then murderous rage. Her father, Deepak Yadav, shot her using his licensed .32 bore revolver. According to the FIR, Radhika and her mother, Manju Yadav, lived on the first floor of their Sushant Lok residence. Shockingly, Manju was at home when the murder happened, in the same portion of the house.
देखिए ये जो वीडियो है, ये वीडियो इस हत्या की वारदात से करीब 1.25 से 1.5 साल पहले का है और जो फिलहाल तक इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसमें परिवार ने बताया है कि ये वीडियो उनके कंसेंट से बनाया गया था और इस वीडियो को लेकर के कहीं भी कोई डाउट ना तो पुलिस के समक्ष है और ना ही इन्वेस्टिगेशन में कोई ऐसा फैक्ट सामने आया है। हत्या की सिर्फ फिलहाल तक एक ही वजह सामने आई है, वो था टेनिस एकेडमी।
Radhika's uncle Kuldeep Yadav was the first to reach the spot after hearing gunshots. He alleges that Deepak was unhappy with Radhika's growing independence and success, especially her tennis academy, which she ran independently. The accused father has told police that locals taunted him for living off daughter's income and that enraged him, which led to the murder. A stark reminder of the patriarchal and medieval mindset that still endangers women in our country. Then there was also Radhika's love for making reels and music videos that further led to regular confrontations with her father. The motive behind the killing is still under scrutiny, but questions are also being raised about why Manju Yadav, present in the house, neither heard nor intervened. She has so far refused to record a formal statement with the police.
हत्या की जो पीछे की वजह है वो एक टेनिस एकेडमी चलाने है, जिसके लिए उन्होंने मना किया तो उसने ये बात नहीं मानी, तो इसकी वजह से उन्होंने गुस्से में इस वारदात को अंजाम दिया गया। कुछ पेंडिंग लीगल प्रोसेस हैं जिनको पूरी करने के लिए पुलिस के द्वारा उनकी कस्टडी हासिल की गई है।
कितने दिन की रिमांड मिली है?
1 दिन का मिला है।
1 दिन का। सर क्या कुछ रिकवरी करनी है या कहानी जो ये
एमुनेशन रिकवर करना है?
एमुनेशन कहाँ पे कैसे बताया अभी तो कुछ?
इसके इनकी जमीन है कासम गांव में, वहाँ से लेकर आना है।
कौन सी गांव से सर?
कासम।
कहाँ पे?
रेवाड़ी के पास है।
A young life cut short, a father now in custody, a mother silent, and a family torn apart by a gun, by ambition, and by a truth still waiting to come out.
It's not just a crime and a murder. It's much more. A sad commentary about women who are financially independent and are living a public life on their own terms. About how they have to face trauma, pressure, and even bullets, like Radhika Yadav. With camera person Pooja Arya, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
And now, when we know that the father killed Radhika, but let's take a look at the motives. What are the possible motives that can be behind this act of father? Well, the first motive that we can talk about is Radhika made social media reels. Did reels kill her? Was that the motive behind? Radhika also featured in a music video. That's the grab from the music video she featured in. And the father was unhappy with those music videos, those reels. And maybe that's why it happened. Or maybe because of tennis. Or we'll also take a look at the next part of this, that the tennis part where it all also started. Radhika ran a tennis academy, after which it was reported that the father wasn't happy with the academy and hence he refused Radhika to continue with the academy. He asked her to shut it down, but then Radhika refused. The third motive that can be is the income. There were rumors that the neighbors were taunting father Deepak Yadav, saying that the house is running on Beti's income and Deepak Yadav is dependent on her daughter's income. Maybe that irked Deepak Yadav and he fired those 4 bullets, but we for sure do not know. The father has allegedly confessed to killing her, but we are still awaiting a final confirmation from the cops. Let's also take a look at the exclusive photo that we did with Radhika's co-star Inam, what he said about Radhika and that music video she featured in.
कौन कह रहा है कि म्यूजिक वीडियो भी कारण है?
नहीं, ये ऐसी खबरें आ रही हैं, मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ। खबरें आ रही हैं, मैं आपसे पूछ रही हूँ, आप राधिका को जानते थे?
जी मैम, वैसी खबरों की वजह से ही सब चीज गलत जाती है, वन साइड स्टोरी। बिकॉज राधिका का सोशल मीडिया एक्टिवेट नहीं है, मेरा गाना ही इंटरनेट पर दिख रहा है, इस वजह से मेरा गाना ही हाईलाइट हो रहा है, राइट। दूसरी बात, मैं उनका फ्रेंड भी नहीं था, मैं उनका दोस्त बिल्कुल नहीं था। मेरी उनसे पहली मुलाकात हुई टेनिस प्रीमियर लीग में दिल्ली के अंदर, जहाँ पर उन्होंने एक्टिंग के लिए मेरी टीम को बोला कि वो करना चाहती हैं। सेकंड टाइम मेरा म्यूजिक वीडियो था जो हम नॉर्मली शूट कर रहे थे दोस्तों के साथ, मैंने उनको बोला, उन्होंने इंटरेस्ट दिखाया, हमने म्यूजिक वीडियो शूट किया। वो अपनी मदर के साथ में साइट पर आई थी। वो गाना उनके फादर को अच्छा लगा, ये मुझे राधिका ने बताया कि आपका जो गाना है कारवा मेरे फादर को बहुत अच्छा लगा। तो जाहिर सी बात है कि वो उन्होंने अपने फादर की परमिशन ली और फिर वो गाना शूट करना है। उनके मदर भी साथ में थे। हमने उनको एक गुड लक अमाउंट दिया, ज़्यादा अमाउंट भी नहीं, कन्वेंस अमाउंट। सेकंड पॉइंट ये है कि बस इतनी ही मेरी मुलाकात है उनके साथ में, कोई चिट चैट, कोई बातचीत कहीं भी नहीं है। मैं उनका ही नाम जानता हूँ पूरी फैमिली में, उनकी मदर फादर किसी को नहीं जानता, वो कहाँ से बिलोंग करती हैं, वो कहाँ रहती हैं, कुछ नहीं।
And now shifting our focus to the language debate that has now reignited after Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan backed Hindi language. Well, amid all this Hindi imposition debate, Pawan Kalyan has come out to say that if Telugu is my mother language, then Hindi language is like an elder mother to me. Listen in to that exclusive reaction.
మన మాతృభాష మీద మన గౌరవం ఉంటుంది. మన మాతృభాష అమ్మ అయితే, మన అమ్మ భాష అయితే దాని మన పెద్దమ్మ భాష హిందీ. మన మాతృభాష మీద మన గౌరవం ఉంటుంది. మన మాతృభాష అమ్మ అయితే, మన అమ్మ భాష అయితే దాని మన పెద్దమ్మ భాష హిందీ.
And now let's take a look at this video that is coming in, how reels can turn fatal and that 2-minute fame can take your life. He put the car in reverse, the camera was on and it was time for action. He performed a stunt and everyone watched. The man behind the wheel is not a stuntman and the ending was not what he expected. The car fell into a 300-foot long ditch. The driver survived but suffered serious injuries. The stunt for a reel lasted only 6 seconds and ended in a disaster. This video is from Maharashtra's a popular tourist spot, Sadhavgarpur, and 20-year-old Sahil Jadhav and his 4 friends were on a hill trip popular for its iconic views of the valley, where they decided to shoot a video, make a reel, have some fun. But how fun turns tragic. This is that chilling reminder that how you have to be careful for those reels that you put on social media. And now shifting our focus to Gurugram. Every monsoon, Gurugram sheds its glossy brochure and reveals its crumbling core, and 2025 is no different. From cyber city to drain city, the transformation is swift and soaked. Roads vanish, SUVs float, and helplines drown in desperate calls. Glass towers shimmer above while craters and cave-ins open below. These are the visuals not from Venice. This is my Gurugram. You can see the truck, the roads cave in, the roads turn into swimming pools. You can have a jolly ride in Gurugram if you want to enjoy during monsoon. Take a look at the reactions and the report that we have for you.
The city that hosts Fortune 500 headquarters, global tech hubs, and India's future grinds to a halt in every monsoon. Yesterday was no different, only worse. Gurugram, the face of modern India, crumbled under its own ambition yet again. A relentless downpour turned the Millennium City into a massive water tank. The so-called cyber city couldn't even load basic civic sense. Over 400 distress calls flooded Gurugram's traffic helplines. Commuters stuck in rising water, stalled cars, drowned buses. Many simply abandoned their vehicles mid-road. over 222 cars had to be towed. Subhash Chowk, Hero Honda Chowk, Rajiv Chowk, the same hotspots year after year were submerged. A massive cave-in on the southern peripheral road became the final blow. A truck plunged into a crater left behind by the Gurugram Metropolitan Development Authority. A pipe was installed, but the road was never fixed. Warnings were ignored. This time, the consequences weren't. 72 traffic cops, 32 cranes, 100 plus deployment points, all scrambled to manage a city sinking in its own sprawl. Trees were uprooted, metro access roads blocked, and the Medanta hospital nearly cut off. Tech parks, luxury towers, golf courses, but zero resilience. Every monsoon, Gurugram goes offline. The question is no longer why this keeps happening, it's why no one's held responsible. Because until someone is, the rain will keep coming and this city will keep drowning. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Cricket updates brought to you by Remitly. Send money home safely with Remitly.
Each time you blink, think of Ruqaiya. Because for this little girl, each blink is torture. An infection called trachoma has turned her lashes inwards. Now, each blink feels like thorns scratching her eyes. Will you do something amazing to help and give £2 a month to Sightsavers? You'll help children in remote regions get the medicines, surgery and care that can cure trachoma. But please don't wait. Text BLINK9 to 78866 and give just £2 a month. Because each blink is torture for children like Ruqaiya.
Wouldn't life be so much easier if you could control your blinds at the touch of a button? With Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, there's no chains, cords or wiring because these stylish blinds are driven by a rechargeable power pack. New Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, the intelligent solution for home shading.
This is so wild that I actually, from a dream, started a business. I don't think I could ever work for anyone else ever again.
We all know animals have feelings. They depend on kindness, just like you and me. So imagine how they feel when they're beaten, starved, and unloved. Every minute, the RSPCA is called on to save animals in physical agony and mental torment. It's unbearable to see the pain in their eyes. We refuse to give up on them, but to rescue them from a life of fear, we urgently need animal lovers like you to donate today. Please call 0800 121 4260 or text KIND to 84903 to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. Your gift will help fund more life-saving rescues, more emergency treatment, and more gentle rehabilitation. Every month, you'll be helping to keep animals free from pain and sadness, so they can find the comfort and joy they deserve. Right now, across the country, thousands are suffering deliberate harm. But together, we can show animals what kindness feels like. Together, we can rescue them. So please, call 0800 121 4260, text KIND to 84903, or visit our website to start your monthly donation today. Thank you.
I've bought cars on finance, so I've made my claim.
My lenders charge hidden commissions. I've made my claim. I could be owed thousands.
I've made my claim.
I've made my claim. I've made my claim.
It's so quick and simple.
You could be owed thousands in hidden commissions from vehicles bought on finance since 2007, even without the details.
I've made my claim.
Trust myclaimgroup.co.uk.
Claims made simple.
If you won't do it for you, do it for your grandchild, who's mad you didn't hear her joke.
Book a free hearing test at bootshearingcare.com.
With Virgin Media, get smooth, lightning fast M125 broadband for under £24 a month. And no setup fee. Switching is simple. We'll handle everything for you. Visit virginmedia.com.
Some say sport is a matter of life and death. The truth is, it is far more serious than that. Sport is about ecstasy and agony, about pain and suffering, about joy and much more. Some say there's no one better to tell these stories. So here I am. Join me, Boria Majumdar, on India's #1 news network.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Aditi Bhardwaj, bringing you all the latest details that are coming in. Let's take a look at the top stories. In response to a media query on the preliminary report of the Ahmedabad plane crash, Union and Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu said that Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau is working on it. The report is likely to come out soon, maybe by tomorrow. Amid Hindi imposition row, Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister backs Hindi language, says if Telugu is my mother language, then Hindi is like an elder language. 25-year-old national level tennis player Radhika Yadav was shot dead by her father. Motive remains unclear. Accused father sent to one-day police custody. Two weeks have passed, but Shefali Jariwala's autopsy report remains awaited. Cops seek one more week for the report. From Maharashtra, heat on Shinde's Mantri Shirsat now as a shocking video surfaces a day after IT notice to minister. UBT claims Shirsat is sitting with bag full of cash while the minister refutes all these allegations.
The MLA selected me, High Command asked me to become the Chief Minister, so I am continuing.
Amid Karnataka CM change talk, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah speaks exclusively to NDTV, says can't be CM without High Command's support. He says that he has High Command's support. And first up on this news edition, retired Justice D. John Michael has submitted the report to Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah on the Bengaluru stampede and what exactly happened. Now, in his report, the retired justice has opined that all stakeholders have committed negligence and negligence that's culpable in nature. Whether it's Royal Challengers Bengaluru, or the Karnataka State Cricket Association, or the other participants who were responsible for organizing that celebration event. Even the cops have been held responsible for the stampede in the report. The report specifically, every name has been there mentioned inside the report. But will Karnataka Chief Minister and the Cabinet accept it or not? If accepted, then